Hey guys, welcome to Medium Rare with Lisa. Today I have Lauren Courtney with us. Excuse my voice, I'm coming down with a little cold like everyone else. But Lauren is a shaman, a Reiki master, a spiritual coach, spiritual healer. We are also going to do a sound bath meditation at the end of this interview, which I'm super excited about. So let's get this interview started. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi,
Thank you
how
for
are you?
having me.
Thank you for coming. How is New York?
New York is nice. It's good to be home.
It's because you're from here and you lived here.
I am from Long Island originally. Another Long Island
I
medium.
live in Mineola right now, so.
It's nice to be back. It's always a pleasure to come home.
Now, how did you, because you have a whole bunch of things you're able to do, so I want to be able to touch on all of that. At the same time, how did this gift start?
Sure. So I'm going to try to do a very condensed but detailed version. I've known for some time I was supposed to be a healer. About 8 years ago, I went back to school to be a holistic health coach. And through that, I started working as a chef with clients recovering from food, drug, and alcohol addiction. Okay. So healing was definitely in my nature. And then about 3 years ago, someone very close to me passed away. I knew how close we were in this life here, but I had no idea our relationship in the spiritual realm because I was very much closed and not open to spirituality. It hadn't been something growing up on Long Island that was discussed much in my circles. But the day he passed away, I started receiving messages from him through song. And within that, I kind of realized that I might have been receiving messages like that my whole life and didn't understand that. So with that, I ended up going out to California, spending some time on a cannabis farm, getting quiet. A really beautiful place to get quiet and heal around plants. It was a unique opportunity, to say the least. And as I was on this journey, I received an inner guided message about Reiki. And I didn't necessarily know what that message was, but I followed my intuition and received my Reiki level 1 and 2 while still living here in New York. And that brought me out to California. I figured, okay, I'll go out there and be a chef and see what this is all about. And my 3rd day living there, I went to an aroma Reiki class and met the person who then became my next teacher, who taught Holy Fire Reiki, which is the energy I work with. It's different. It's more refined. You can really feel it strongly in your heart. So it's a very powerful energy. And I opened up and became a Reiki master about a month later. And through that, it deepened my connection as a medium, something I didn't talk about for some time because it was something that kind of totally scared me. And I was like, I don't know how people are going to take to this because I knew that it made my parents uncomfortable. It was something that I wasn't sure about, but I knew it was helping me one-on-one for myself. So I was like, all right, I'll just use this on my own as a healing tool, talk to my ancestors that keep talking to me. And basically through that work and healing my ancestors and healing some of my own past lives, I did my master's in the Akashic Records. And through that work, it opened up past lives as a shaman and as a healer and as a medicine woman. And then I've done this work in many lifetimes in different ways. So I've just continued to grow. About a year ago, I added sound healing to my work. It's something I used. I would go to sound healing. So now I do sound healing, which we'll get into.
Yeah, because that's how I found you on Instagram, is because you did a live or something. And I'm like, what is this? And I was like, oh, this is so relaxing. And I think you were on a beach.
Yes, that's funny. My sister just said that was her favorite sound bath I've done for her.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I like this. And it calmed me. And it was like, you could feel the vibration. And it just like changes your whole everything.
It changes the structure. It's sound and vibrational healing. So it really calms the mind, relaxes the body, and allows the water within our body to start flowing in the proper direction. So often we're just scattered. We're made up of so much water. And if you think about us as the ocean, sometimes the tide is tough and the sound bowls allow the tide to calm down and they take you on a journey and bring peace within to your body and relax you.
Yeah, no, it was very relaxing. Okay, so finish your, because I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, so that, yeah, that's really it. You know, I've added the sound healing and the work that I do now as I've continued to add my tools and do what I do is I work with groups of women doing spiritual coaching, as well as one-on-one sessions, energetic clearings for people, sound healings. I do groups. So really, I do a lot of everything, physical pain, emotional pain. That's really the stuff that drives me is addiction, because that's what I lost my friend to, and also what's always spoken to me. And I know that's my soul's purpose here. So in order for me to do the heavy work, I really enjoy doing the group sound baths and playing with my mediumship in ways that the universe allows for me to.
Now, when people come to you and they want, they ask you, you're a shaman, you're a medium, how do you tell them what the difference is? Because I know a lot of people, what is the difference between being a shaman and being a medium? I know that sometimes shamans, they can see different levels differently than a medium can. So I don't know if you can clarify that for me.
So I don't necessarily call myself a medium, which we've talked about, because I think there's a lot of conversation around, is this real? Is this not real? And I've had people question my authenticity with it because, oh, well, you've been doing this for 3 years. I've been doing this my whole life. And the truth of the matter is, I think when we're supposed to wake up and receive our clairvoyancies and our gifts, and we're able to be grounded enough to understand them, then we receive. And I believe we all work at different vibrations and different levels and layers, and it's up to each individual person to continue working to enlighten themselves. And as my experience has been, as I've become more enlightened and the further I've gone in my spiritual work, that's when the next layers open up. So there was the mediumship first, and then later came my work, an understanding of being a shaman. So I just find that it's a higher vibration and a different vibration. And also the goal of my work in each place is very different. I use my mediumship in my spiritual coaching when I'm working and communicating people with talking. And I use my shaman work and my energy clearing when I'm doing more spiritual surgeries and energetic work.
Now explain the spiritual surgeries, because we talked about that a little bit over the phone, and that's really fascinating to me.
So I do work with people that are dealing with pain. So I will open up this space in myself as a channel for spirit, higher power, whatever you may want to call it, to work through me, as well as the energies that I work with. So I will start the session grounding the space with holy fire Reiki, and then I will call in whatever other energies are being requested of me for the safety of the space and for the client that I'm working with. I call in their spirit guides, their angels, their guides, and their loved ones to protect them. And then I just allow myself to move through this space as I'm being called to. So it's very different based on each person, what they're experiencing. It can be really deep, and I can be opening up the body, of course, just spiritually. Right. I'm not like cutting anyone open. And sometimes it's much more gentle than that. So it can really depend.
So when people say, I want Reiki or I want a spiritual surgery, like you obviously sit and talk to them and figure out what they need and what, and then do people just come to you sometimes and are just like, I have all these issues and I don't know what to do and what's best for me? I mean, how do you figure that out? Like what's best for a certain person? If someone really wants something, but you're like, no, that's not for you. How do you?
I have to say, at this point, my work for the most part, and how it's been my whole life, is it's word of mouth, and it's a lot of referrals and awesome. People finding me, I believe, when they need to. Typically, when someone's coming to me, it's because they're in a place where they know what they need and they're able to vocalize that to me, or I'm able to physically see that as soon as I connect with them. A lot of what I've been experiencing over the last year, and that's why I started doing group coaching with women, is a lot of women breaking through with their own gifts and not understanding it. So I was very much alone when I had my awakening. I didn't have friends that understood what I was going through, and moved out to LA, brand new place.
Every corner there's a psychic out in LA.
Yeah, but it was interesting. As a New Yorker, I knew one or two people out in LA, and I just went out there like, I have to fucking figure this out on my own, and I'll find my teachers along the way. But I didn't even know it was happening. I just trusted because the person I had lost was helping me on the other side, which I later came to understand that he was my twin flame. And these were things, had someone said these terms to me 5-6 years ago, I've been like, that's a cool video game, but I don't play video games. So I went through this deep, profound awakening and had certain teachers along the way, and I'm so grateful to each and every person. Whether or not we still communicate, like I send them all so much love and light. So now what I've created is a space for women who, have been viewing me through my awakening, for them to have a space to go through their own awakening. And I have a lot of clients who come to me because they feel as though they may be a medium. They feel as though they're connected to something and don't understand. So what I do is a 14-week program to help clear you out from root to crown chakra. When we go through each chakra, two chakras, all 7 chakras, 2 weeks at each chakra, to clear you out from who you maybe once thought you were and all these things that you planted yourself into, to actually being who you want to be and setting yourself free in a sense. So I work with a lot of women in that way.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. So it's been good because I wish I had me when I was going through it.
And I'll be honest. I mean, when I look back on my life and the things that I've done, I think there's a reason why I'm now interviewing mediums and psychics, because I've got to tell you, a lot's changed. I see things differently. I know you've also brought up, you have this gift too. And I'm like, no, I don't. Which I probably do, but for some reason I'm not open to it yet. There's a part of me that is, but there's a part of me that's like, well, would I even get there? So I guess when it happens, it will happen, and then maybe I'll finally know the lottery numbers. Because that's my thing. Like, a lot of people say, well, why can't you know the lottery numbers? Why, if you have this gift, why do you date this stupid person? Or, why did you, wouldn't you know about this job not working out, or that's the job you're supposed to have, or not go on that plane? Do you know what I mean?
But that's all.
Excuse me.
Even when we know things, because even before you have your gift, you have your intuition, and if you should go to the party, or if you should stay home, or if you should go out with this person or not, but you do it anyway. So what I've realized, in the awakened state, is I still, not so much anymore, but at the beginning of the awakening, I was still walking into situations with the idea of, this is going to teach me something. But I had to understand this was going to teach me something before I could walk into it, because then I set the intention behind it, and then you learn the lesson.
Right.
Because trust me, I have done some things during my awakening that other people may see as, well, that's not spiritual, that's not how you should do things. But who is anyone to judge your experience? This is my experience, and this is how I'm going to learn my lessons here in this lifetime, to bring myself to the place I'm looking to go.
Right. Now, you had also talked a little bit about twin flames for a second.
Yeah.
And I have 1,001 questions on the twin flame thing. So I'm curious to what your take is on that. There's lots of stuff, like the girl that we were just looking at on Instagram, she's a twin flame medium, and there's so much on that. And I'm just curious what your thought is. I feel like I've already met my twin flame. And I don't know if I have or not. I think that that's who it is. But now, maybe it's not. I don't know. But what is your whole theory on the twin flames, karmic relationships?
So I want to say, first and foremost, I'm not a twin flame expert. I just happen to have a twin flame relationship in this incarnation. We all have twin flame relationships, not necessarily in this incarnation.
Okay.
So I don't like to speak too much on it. when I have clients that come to me that are in the same situation, I am aware and I can help them. And I do find that many of my clients, because that's the energy I work with and carry, do come to me because of that. I believe we have one twin flame. I believe that you're not necessarily supposed to be with this person. I believe they are our biggest catalyst for change in this lifetime.
Okay.
My twin flame and I did date. We dated when we were younger, and it was a tumultuous relationship in many ways, very powerful and profound relationship. And later in life, he ultimately passed a few years ago. His death was the most profound thing that ever happened to me. Had he not died, I would not have awakened. So to me, it's like, well, if we were together in this life, then what would this life have been?
Right.
This was our agreement. So I think a lot of people have the wrong idea of what a twin flame relationship is supposed to be. And it's
I'm starting
to
see that. I'm starting to see that in a lot of things, a lot of these Instagram posts and a lot of these things. Now, Akashic records, are those basically the same things as blueprints?
Yeah, I would call it a blueprint, exactly. It's the layout for your life. And just to touch on soulmates, I believe we have thousands, so many soulmates, and we have soul family. Like in the last 3 years, I've met soul grandparents, soul parents, soul brothers, sister. Like, oh my God, I think the idea of soulmates is so beautiful, and that like you have soul family from all your incarnations, and you can just choose to meet them. And having lived in LA, I've met plenty of soul family, and now being in Miami, I've met some new soul family, and I feel like another new family coming in, great. Which is, it's cool. It's also a fun way to live, is just having this open mind of what people really are to you.
Now, how do you, a lot of people like, when you tell people, just let go, just open up, how do you, if people have a hard time doing that, what do you tell them, or what advice do you give to people?
I mean, you saw my tough love. I do tend to give tough love, but of course, within that, I recommend just being gentle with yourself and being kind with yourself and being patient with yourself and learning how to love yourself, because at the end of the day, all we're looking for in this life is love. And that starts within. And if we can't love ourselves first, then nothing else is really going to work out the way we want it to, because it all starts in the foundation right here.
Now, what are some of the things that you enjoy the most about helping others and having these gifts? And what are some of the things that you kind of are like hesitant with and not too sure about?
I love all of it. Like I love all of it. Like I feel so blessed every day. Like I could cry because I'm so passionate about what I do, and I can't believe this is my job. Like I can't like the fact that like this is what I get to do and wake up every day and do is amazing. I recently had an experience. I was out in Vegas with a friend's family, and my friend's aunt lost her son about 10 years ago or so. And I was sitting having dinner with her, and the parents had gotten up from the table, and it was just her and I sitting there, and I could feel the presence of my friend who had passed sitting across from me, and he was telling me, like, her son's here, like, it's time to do work. And, I wasn't working. I was very much turned off, but I said, okay, whatever you guys need me to do, let's do it. And I turned to his aunt, who knows what I do, of course, and I said, I want you to put your hands out. Like, your son is here. He wants to touch you. And she was like, are you serious? And I said, yeah. And, it's an intense thing, and it's powerful to hold that space. And anyway, she put her hands out, and, within 30 seconds, she could feel him.
Really? That just gives me the total chills.
So it's like moments like those where I can really connect people in that way are really powerful for me, to just connect people in that sense. And also to help people with patterns and trauma and disordered thinking and all of those things, and releasing people and helping them just understand that, I've been there. Like, I was there. I was like, again, I don't know that I would have woken up had my friend not passed. So I get what it's like to live on the other side and not be awake. So now that I'm awake, I know it's my purpose here to help others who are in similar situations. So every chance that I have the opportunity to do that is really fun for me.
Oh, I bet. I think this whole world is interesting. It's fascinating. It's, everybody says so many different things, and at the same time, everybody says a lot of the same things. When you are, in another realm, when you're meditating or when you're talking to whoever, what is it like over there? Are there different realms? Is it one realm? What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
When I'm just like hanging out with myself and like, so on Sunday mornings, I have spiritual Sundays with myself, and I do use cannabis as my own medicine, and it's something I talk about a lot within my circles. And on Sundays, I like to have a little smoke session and then hang out with Spirit, whoever wants to come to me. So I call Spirit in.
Sounds actually like a lot of fun.
I tell my guides, like, whoever wants to come through, like, come hang out. And sometimes I'll actually, like, get people that will come for, like, a friend, and I'll call up, like, my friend, or sometimes it's my grandparents, they want to talk to my cousin. So I, like, hang out in that space. But how I see in those moments, so I live in Miami, and I live across the street from the golf course, and I also live across from the Hand of God. So I have this energy that I'm, like, sitting up in heaven with my people, and they show me, like, they're at a golf course and they're at the country club and just living their life, and that's how they hang out on Sunday mornings. They also, I don't know, like, my friend showed me, like, his birthday party, and he was hanging out with, like, a bunch of musicians, like, that have passed, and I don't know, they're just living, like, they just show me, like, life is really fun and cool there, but they remind me that, like, that's there, and I can always, like, that's can always be there, but I have to do my work here in order to get there.
So did you ever see this in your blueprints? This gift that you have in doing what you're doing now, did you see that in your blueprints?
I didn't even know about these blueprints until, like, in the last, like, 3 years. I've seen certain things, but I didn't know what would happen. And I didn't really plan. Like, I was just, like, every day, it's a very humbling experience. Like, every day, I wake up and I do the same thing, and I have my routine, and every day I journal, and, like, throughout these last 3 years, I sign off every journal entry, I am love, I am light. And every day, that's my reminder of who I am, because at the end of the day, that is all I am. And that is what I have to offer this world. And if I don't have those two things, then I am not here being of service to everyone else. So, I have my Sundays, and I, like, have these, like, fun sessions with Spirit, but then when I'm in session, I'm very humbled. I am not in charge. I have to take myself out of the picture and listen to the direction I'm being given, down to, am I supposed to lead this person into a Reiki guided meditation? Which one specifically? Is this supposed to be guided through me, through source? What can I allow them to say through me? So it's about me also being as clear as possible and as clean as possible as well, like, in all sorts of ways. I've had to really change my life and give up a lot to allow all of this, but I know that this is my purpose here. So, sometimes you just have to say, like, it's okay to let go of what you thought once was in order to receive what you're really here to receive and to give.
Yeah, no, it is. It's kind of, having this gift is,
It's very lonely.
And I hear that a lot. It's very lonely, and they're like, well, how can it be lonely? You can do so many other things. Like, you could you could just call in someone, and I always get told it's not really like that.
And like that's when I remember, and they remind me like, you need to have fun with us because it is lonely. So like have fun, even if you're alone, like you're never alone. But it's an interesting journey, but you find yourself. So like I found myself on this journey, and I never knew myself because I cut this part of myself off when I was very young.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
How are we on time, and do we have some questions? Okay. Do you have any? No questions? Okay. All right. Do you want to go right into the sound bath meditation then?
Sure.
All right.
Let's
do it. And then so we'll do that for 10 minutes, and then.
My audience is going to be so excited to have a midday sound bath. Midday sound bath, you guys.
Are there people on Instagram? Okay. But nobody has, no?
There were right in this month.
Yeah, it's like the middle of the day. It's middle of the day in all of the working cities, at least over where my neck lives. All right, guys.
All right. So 10 minutes, and then I'll just try and I'll just.
So I'm going to lead you through a guided sound bath journey. Again, I practice Holy Fire Reiki, so it's going to be a Reiki guided journey. So deeply healing, relaxing. Hopefully you can enjoy some midday break. So wherever you are, you can close your eyes for a moment. And take a deep breath in, filling your bellies with air. Bring it up through your chest. And let out a sigh. You have arrived at a crystal clear river flowing down from the mountains. There's a path along the riverbank. As you walk along the path, you come to a bend in the river. The sun is shining off the rippled surface of the water in the bend in the river, creating a glittering, shimmering light. You realize this is no ordinary light. That it is coming from the third heaven. This light is here to guide you. This light is an opportunity for you to receive your messages directly. That said, allow this light to enter your soul. Allow this light to guide you. not by chance that you are here today, that I am here today. It's not by chance that I'm offering you this holy love experience. It's because you've asked for it. You've been asking for a healing of your heart. Allow yourself to receive. Begin to take a deep breath and release. And then take another deep breath and release. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back into your space, hopefully feeling a little lighter.
It feels nice. Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Good. How are you guys feeling?
Good. Everyone in the room is good, you guys. We saved some souls.
We did. Well, this was a lot of fun. There's no. I just want to make sure there's no questions. I have a couple questions on Facebook, but I'm not sure if those are questions.
Well, I want to actually say to Marie,
Okay.
I wasn't looking at the screen before I started the sound bath, but I did see your message about your boyfriend who recently passed as I started playing. So I'm not tapped into his energy, and I'm not going to tap in because it's not where I'm working at this moment. But I just want you to know that he is here. There's a reason that you were here today, and he was sending you love. When I added, you wouldn't know that I added, but I added a piece into that meditation to let you know that you could receive messages from him while I was holding that space for you. So that was a specific message for you, Marie, that it was a time for you to be able to tap into that. So I hope you were able to find a moment or two of peace and connection for yourself. And, you can always reach out if you did not receive that now. I'm always happy to connect.
Nice. Thank you.
Of course.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you
a
for
lot of
having
fun.
me.
And thank you guys all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the sound bath. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Have a great night.
Bye.